Welcome back to another episode of the Where It's On podcast, hosted by Chandler Dantzler. You can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and watch on YouTube. Today we have Defiance High School baseball associate head coach and co-founder of Krato Sports, Rick Weaver. We're super pumped to have you on the show. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, before we start digging into Defiance Baseball and Krato Sports, I like to ask this question here first. Who is Rick Weaver? How would you introduce yourself?
Oh wow, that's a good question. I don't know. I would say, I'm a very positive, upbeat guy. Likes to have fun. Um, I think of myself as a role model to kids. Obviously, being a teacher and a coach, just try to make a difference in kids' lives.
That's great. All right. Before we let's get into your coaching career here. Just take us through how you started coaching, when you started coaching, and whether you did anything before Defiance High School.
Yeah. Okay. So, started coaching in the summer after my freshman year of college. And decided I really liked it. I really started coaching a summer team to kind of get back into shape. I was going to play baseball in college, and then enjoyed the coaching aspect. So I actually was a pre-med major and changed that and went into education so I could coach. Got my first coaching job at Dublin Kaufman High School in Columbus. Then I moved down to the Cincinnati area. I coached baseball in Ludlow, Kentucky, which is right across the river. And then I coached basketball at Cincinnati Moeller. So I coached baseball at a super small school,
Mm-hmm.
coached basketball at a powerhouse high school. So there were two different ends of the spectrum there. And then I went up to Defiance High School, and I've been here for 25 years. I've coached football here for several years. I've been the head golf coach here for 8 years. I was the associate head coach here for 24 years, and actually was just named the head coach here in June. So I'm excited for that new opportunity.
Geez, that's awesome. You've done it all with coaching all of golf, football, basketball, and baseball. What comparisons are there coaching in all four of those sports?
Well, you coach each of them differently. I think basketball and football is sports where you can yell at kids because it's fast paced up and down. So
Yeah.
it's more emotions. Baseball's more laid back. Baseball and golf are kind of more laid back sports. They're
Mm-hmm.
more mental side of sports. So I try to talk about the mental side and the approaches in both golf and baseball. Um, and as far as that goes, they're all the same in that everything's competitive. You always want
Yep.
to win. Kids want structure. They want discipline. They want to be worked hard. And at the end of the day, every kid is really, and no matter what sport, they're all trying their hardest. They want to do
For
their
sure.
best, and they want to win.
Yep, for sure. All right. What do you think the toughest thing is about being a coach?
The toughest thing, one of them is obviously, to me, is kids that work their tail off for you and don't see the field,
Yeah,
where either they're just not good enough to play, or the kids ahead of them are just better. That's hard as a coach. I don't think parents realize how much that really eats at most coaches. I mean, in a
yeah,
perfect world, everyone would be able to play, but it's just not realistic. And I think sometimes parents just think, coaches don't care. They don't mind that their son has not played in 4 games.
yeah.
But in actuality, I think that eats at most coaches when they can't get kids into the ball game.
For sure. All right, let's kind of dig into Defiance baseball here real quick. Last season, you guys went 24-7-2. Can you talk about last season and the success you guys had?
Yeah. So we had a really good run. We made it to the regional finals. We ended up losing to Ontario, so we were 1 game short of making it to the state final four. We placed second place in the league. We lost to a really good Wapakoneta team. They have three really good pitchers. The kid they graduated, Jason Brandt, is going to Indiana State. As far as our team, we were pitching dominated. We had three really really good pitchers. Aiden Kiesling's going to Finley. David Jimenez is going to Finley, and Braden Shaw is going to Akron.
Jeez.
So we were led by three really good pitchers. And the unfortunate thing, right towards the end of the regular season, Braden Shaw tore his labrum, diving for a ball at shortstop. And obviously you make it to the regional finals, so you still had a great run.
Yeah,
But that was a tough loss for us, losing him. He was our leader, shortstop, big pitcher for us. But overall, we had a really good season, very successful.
that's great. All right, that's what it looked like when I was looking on Max Preps. Looks like you had a great season. All right, now
We did.
did you have any favorite memories in that season? Because in high school baseball, you make a lot of memories, you build a lot of relationships. Did you have any favorite memories?
Well, I mean, each year builds memories. Each senior class is unique in themselves, and really for me, the memories come 5, 6, 7 years down the road when you start looking back at certain seasons. And really, and we talk to our kids about this all the time. Most of the memories don't center around games. Like, oh,
Hmm.
remember we won this game. It's usually something that happens in the locker room or a
Yeah,
practice or a bus ride. Um, and that's what's kind of special when you've coached at one program for 24 years and you get players that come back all the time just to hear them talking about different stories. Half of them I don't even remember. They'll be like,
yeah,
"Hey, remember you said this or did this," and that's really neat. And getting invited to former players' weddings, which is awesome. And
yeah,
and usually by the end of the night at the reception, all the former players are sitting at the coach's table and we're talking and reminiscing, and
yeah.
and that's really what's the neat part of coaching.
All right. Heading into your spring season this year, what is your main goal for the team and for you as a head coach?
Well, our goal as a team is always to win the league and then make a tournament run. We have a very talented group coming back. Our junior class is really good, and our senior class is good. We have three pitchers, 3 to 4 pitchers in the junior class that I think have a chance to be really, really, really good. And then we have 2 pitchers in our senior class that can be really good for us also.
That's great. Here's a tough question here. What do you think the biggest challenge is coaching high school baseball?
Well, the biggest challenge, that's a good question. I think the biggest challenge is finding time for kids who play multiple sports. I'm a big believer that kids should play all the sports. I played 3 sports in high school, and I love basketball. I love football. Obviously, I'm coaching golf now, so I love golf.
Yeah.
But what's hard is the summer of trying to share athletes and not be too demanding on the kids where they're just worn out from trying to go from sport to sport, and where they actually get a summer and get some downtime to enjoy themselves. So that's kind of the tricky part in the summer of trying to figure that. The other thing, and I always get asked too, is how have kids changed from when you started coaching? And
Hmm.
to me, I don't really think kids have changed. I think kids are still the same. They like the discipline, they like structure,
Yep.
they want to be worked hard. I think what's changed is parents, and I don't say that in a negative way because I think parents care about their kids and they want
Yep.
what's best for their kids, and I totally get that. But what's now easier for parents is to get a hold of coaches with, they can text me at 10 at night, they can email
Yeah.
me at night, where 20 years ago they couldn't do
Couldn't
that.
do that.
So it was tougher for a parent to get a hold of a coach. But as far as the kids, I think the kids are exactly the same.
Gotcha. All right. How has coaching over the last 20 plus years helped you become a better person?
That's a great question. It's made me, I think it's made me calmer, given me more perspective. I think when I first started coaching, I thought coaching was just yelling and
Yeah.
screaming at kids, and as I get older, I realize it's more of coaxing, patting them on the back, telling them they're doing a good job. I've really tried to become more positive and point out positives in my coaching as opposed to always pointing out the negatives.
Hmm.
But I think the biggest thing I think that'll change you as a coach is when you have your own kids,
Yeah.
and you see it from the parent side and different aspects of that. I think that has helped me. It's helped me um, handle losses better. and all that, because when you come home to your kids, they don't care if you won or lost.
Yeah.
They're happy dad's home. So it puts things into perspective for you a lot quicker.
For sure. All right. Before we start digging into Krato Sports, like you mentioned earlier, you're also the head coach for the golf team at Defiance High School. Can you talk a little about the golf team and what you're most excited for this season coming up?
So yeah, so we're actually about halfway through our year. We start early August, and it's a short season. We're a young team. I think we're a year or two away from being really, really competitive, but we've shown signs of getting better. Each match we get better, and if you've never coached golf, it's a different sport to coach because you can't talk to them a lot. So
Yeah.
you kind of just drive around the cart and watch them, and you can talk to them here and there. And basically, I just try to be the Dr. Phil out there, and
Mm-hmm.
talk them off the ledge of the tree because they all are going nuts because they just double bogeyed the previous hole. So
Yeah.
just try to keep them calm, stay positive, and get better with each day out there.
Yeah. All right. Let's dig into the company now. Take us through what Krato Sports is and how do you got started, and tell us a little bit about you guys.
Yeah, perfect. So we're about almost 2 years old, and the way we came about is I was giving hitting lessons to a 10-year-old, and I was talking to his dad, and I was using a bat weight that kind of slid up about halfway up his barrel, and I was
Mhm.
explaining to him how I'm a big believer in overload training, but I don't really like what's on the market, just because when they slide up on the barrel, I thought, if a lot of kids aren't strong enough, their hands get outside, bat head drops, and I thought it would
Yeah.
do more harm than good. And so I was explaining how if we could get a weight right above the hands, it'd be perfect. And so 2 weeks later, he sends me a picture, and his kid's holding this bat, and he has a weight right above his hands. And he's like, "Is this what you're looking for?" I'm like, "That is exactly, for 20 years I've looked for a
Yeah.
weight like that." I'm like, "Where did you find that?" And he's like, "Oh, my buddy owns a factory. I told him what I wanted. We kind of came up with it." So we sat down the next day, we had lunch, and we decided to start a company. So we launched Krato in December of 2021, and all we had on the market was bat weights. And we go from 10 ounces to 40 ounces. It can go on your own bat. You can use it off a tee, front toss, coach pitch, machine. So you can use it live. And that's what separates us from the others, is you can
Yeah.
actually use it on machine or coach pitch. And then sitting around one night, my wife was like, "Couldn't you do this for golf?" I'm like, "Oh, absolutely, you could."
Yeah.
So then we designed the golf weight, which does the same thing. You can use it hitting balls on the range. It's going to increase your hand speed, club head speed, distance, and then the placement of the weight right below the grip will actually help create the proper swing plane. And then just 3 months ago, we launched all our other products on the baseball side. We have tees, nets, we have weighted balls for hitting, we have plyo balls for arm care, and we have bat grips. And then we're now getting the foam balls in for the hack attacks to hit with there. So we're slowly increasing our company.
That's great. All right. Just like you said, you launched it back in December 2021. How long did that process take before announcing the company?
Um, about 7 months is what it took. It sped up probably a little more because my business partner Justin Kuhn had started a business before.
Oh, yeah.
He had a couple of buddies that could manufacture the weights for us. He knew a patent lawyer, so we got on the patent immediately. So him doing it previously sped the process up tremendously for us.
That's great. All right. What do you think the challenging part was about getting it going and getting it out to the public?
Well, for me, the biggest thing was I'm not a business guy.
Mm-hmm.
I was an education major. I had no business background. We were learning by the day. So, I mean, we created uh, Twitter accounts, Instagram accounts, TikTok accounts, and, trying to make TikToks. I had no idea what I was
Yeah.
doing. So
Pretty
we were
challenging.
learning. Yeah. So we were learning all that. We got into Amazon. My wife learned all that. She learned how to get our products into Amazon. We're on Amazon Prime. My wife does a lot of our marketing. She creates a lot of the the ads. She's done an unbelievable job learning all of that. So really, for us, it was just a lot of research, figuring out. I mean, we've made a lot of mistakes. We've learned a lot of things in almost 2 years. So it's exciting to see where we started and where we're at. We've got in with some major league teams. We've got in with some major league players. We're in with minor league guys. So it's been a process, but each day something new and exciting happens for us.
Yeah. All right. Now, since you guys put it out on social media like Instagram, TikTok, just like you said on Twitter, how did that go about? Did you get attention right away once you released it?
No, it was slow moving. I mean, we would celebrate 3 likes on a post. We'd celebrate when we got to 100 followers on Twitter, which we're close to 1,200 now. So everything's growing. It's just a daily grind, and you just keep plugging, and each day you get more and more recognition. And it's neat when people will talk to you on the street and they'll mention the company. And if I'm at a baseball tournament, I'll say something about Krato bat weights and having no idea that I was one of the founders of the company. So little things like that's been really cool.
That's cool. All right. Is there any other products coming in the future that you're allowed to talk about?
So we want to eventually do what we call swing sport, create a weight. So it would be tennis, hockey, and lacrosse is what we would like to in the near future release those weights. Gotcha.
Now let's hear a word from our sponsors. Krato Sports. Krato was named after the Greek god of power and strength. Krato bat weights were created to help players improve hand bat speed to reach their maximum exit velocity. Krato Sports also has different kinds of stuff such as bat grips, tees, nets, and weighted balls. You can find them on Instagram and Twitter at Krato Sports, and their website is kratosports.com. All right, do you guys do any pop-up tents at tournaments or anything like that?
We do. Yeah, we do. We go to tournaments around the Ohio area. So we're from Northwest Ohio. So we'll go down to Columbus, Dayton, Cincinnati. We go to some state clinics where the coaches clinics, Ohio, Michigan. We go to the national one. So 2 years ago, Chicago. Last year was in Nashville. This year, Dallas. So yeah, we travel around. We're going down to Louisville for the National Softball Convention.
That's great.
So we're also going to release foam softballs for their pitching machines. And as far as our research shows, no one else offers those foam balls for softball. So we'd be the only one. So we're hoping that'll make a huge impact for the softball world.
Yeah, that would be pretty big. All right. What are some things you've learned during creating this business?
Nothing. The biggest thing I've learned is nothing is ever finished on time. When companies say, hey, we can get this product to you by this date, or we can have this made this date, never happens. It's always takes longer. And I always joke, my dad was in the business world. And I said, now I understand why my dad always came home upset from work every day, because nothing ever goes as planned. So early on, the first couple months, I was always mad. I was always upset. And you just kind of learn that's just the world. That's business. That's just how it is. But that's the biggest thing. If someone said, hey, we can get that to you in 2 weeks, I expected it to be there in 2 weeks. And now I understand if they say 2 weeks, it probably means a month or 6 weeks.
Yeah. All right, we got a few questions left here. If Krato Sports could be in any sport, what store would you pick?
Probably Dick's Sporting Goods. I mean, I think anyone that thinks sports and athletics thinks Dick's Sporting Goods. So that would be the store I would pick.
Gotcha. All right. What do you do in your free time outside of coaching?
I golf on my own. I golf a lot. I'm a big Ohio State fan. So during football season, I never missed a football game. And during basketball season, I try not to miss a basketball game, but my son plays basketball. So every now and then I'll miss a game, but I'll make sure I have it on my phone. So those are my 2 big hobbies, golfing and watching Ohio State athletics.
Gotcha. All right. Can you tell the viewers how they can find Krato Sports?
Yeah. So our website is kratosports.com. And then you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. anywhere in there. And then, like I said, also our products are also listed on Amazon.
Gotcha. All right, we got one question left here. If you could give any advice to anyone wanting to create their own business, what would you say to them?
Go for it. I had this idea for this weight for 20 years, and I sat on it. I think part of me was afraid, part of me wasn't sure what to do, and if it wasn't for my partner Justin, it would still be just a thought in my mind.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I tell everyone: go for it. Like, go for anything, and even if it's not starting a business, go for your dreams. Because the worst thing that can happen is you fail, but at least you tried. And
Yep.
if you never try, you're going to live with that regret and always wonder what if.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Rick, for coming on the podcast, and good luck with your upcoming season at Defiance.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yep.